Okay, this is the negotiation portion of an equitable arrangement and getting both Auntie's choice and the order to work together for the corporation cooperation trophy. Check the description. I will list out all of the quests that need to be done on both sides in order to make it to this point. But basically, you have to complete 2 quests for each side. For Auntie's choice, you'll complete the now hiring Invaluable Disposable agent, and after that you'll be given Mysteries of the Mental Modulators. At the end of my Mysteries of the Mental Modulators video, you can see my conversation with Auntie Cleo, inviting her to work together at this point. Then you do 2 quests for the Order, a study in disruption and crash course in telemetry. At the end of crash course in telemetry is my inviting Bishop Ruth to work together. So that's what gets us to this point. There's a lot of other quests that come together in order to make it to this point in an equitable arrangement. So now we are back at the head office on the ACS Undisputed Claim, and we are going to go mediate the negotiations. Before I forget, speech 14 is required. So make sure you have that if you want the trophy. And we're going down to the secure telecommunications floor. Now, just in case the voices and the PA system are the same, even though they're separate lines, let's turn this back up. PA system on this ship is so loud.
Look who it is, the instigator of this little affair. Her mathematicalness should be along soon, unless the leader of the Order's too busy crunching numbers to attend to business.
There we are. Apologies for the delay. We were resolving some technical issues. Cloister's atmosphere has a tendency to...
Oh, yes. Regale us with a thorough account of Cloister's atmosphere. Spare no detail.
This must be Auntie Cleo's trademark wit. I expected better.
I see now why a neutral third party was needed.
If I was discourteous, I apologize. So long as our mediator proves up to the task, surely we can remain civil. If not, these negotiations may prove short indeed.
All right, well, let's get down to it.
From where I'm positioned, I sense 3 sore points still in need of massage. Point 1, control of the archive. Point 2, oversight of production and distribution of skip cores. And point 3, management of Rift technology.
Okay. Most important thing to decide first is who gets control over the archive.
Before we go any further, I want it in writing that the Order will take full control of the archive without interference from Auntie's choice.
What? So the Order can set it fruitlessly idling for another few centuries? We would put it to far more practical use. Imagine the marketing strategies it could develop.
I would sever my own hand before giving custody of the archive over to a corporation. Humanity's ascension depends on its calculations. No, such a condition is out of the question.
All right. How about the Order gets the archive, but directs some power to an ad campaign?
I am amenable to that proposition. Less work on our part.
I'm waiting to hear an argument that would support such a ludicrous proposal.
Here's a speech 20, but you don't need it. If Auntie's pays the Order for access, that income could fund more scientific research.
No one said anything about paying, but, it would be a pittance compared to the future profits we might derive.
Involving money in science seems questionable, but having access to Auntie's resources would be useful for our research. Fine. Yes, I agree. Reluctantly.
Ruth, I commend you for being so receptive, and I assure you that Auntie's choice values science. Nothing bad has ever happened when science and commerce are combined.
On the subject of science, it would be most prudent for us to discuss who will be overseeing the management of skip drives, specifically the production of skip cores.
No one understands production like we do. Besides which, we have far more experience using skip drives. It was how we came to Arcadia, after all.
Where Auntie's choice manages, the Order would undoubtedly excel. Do not exclude us from consideration merely for lack of experience.
So you ramp up production? And then what? Hand skip drives out for free to whoever wants one? Preposterous, and a waste of a perfectly good monopoly.
We would be diligent about who we licensed out the skip drives to, and a monopoly over space travel is precisely what I wish to avoid. This technology should benefit all humanity.
Okay, speech 14. What if the Order drafted restrictions to curb abuse while Auntie's handled production?
That assumes Auntie's choice would even abide by such a list of restrictions, and which would almost be impossible for the Order to enforce.
Not to worry. We can build a regulatory commission to oversee production and make sure everything is up to Auntie's choice and Order standards.
Wouldn't those regulators still be in your pocket?
Oh, partiality concerns are a thing of the past. Obviously, regulators would be incentivized to care most about the safety of the consumer. You know, right after production costs.
As would the likelihood that we will eventually improve upon it. We shall allow Auntie's control of the current design. There is still the question of who takes possession of the Protectorate's rift technology once the war is finished. Although the science is still largely theoretical, this technology could be used to not only close rifts, but create new ones. A dangerous power indeed, left in the wrong hands.
The Order would fritter away valuable time endlessly hand-wringing what to do with the technology. Auntie's choice would actually use it. For good, of course. In a gainful manner.
Let's see. Crazy idea, but maybe they can share the technology. If you have Science 14, you can have an option too.
A 50-50 split? But that's so equal.
Imagine how magnanimous Aunties will look to Arcadia's population.
Goodwill rarely converts well into bits. But I suppose I do take your point. If Ruth's open to it, I believe I can agree on the general terms here. And, well, we can haggle over minor quibbling details like percentages later.
I shall look forward to brokering the math with you, Cleo. There is one final matter I wish to discuss. I require some chemicals that I have been told are manufactured at a plant on Praetor, controlled by Auntie's choice.
Doesn't sound too difficult. Auntie, can you help with that?
I know which plant you're referring to, Ruth, and what comes out of it is hardly safe for general use. Out of professional curiosity, what could you possibly need with such dangerous compounds? Running a little experiment, are we? On what? Or whom?
That is, quite frankly, none of your concern.
But it is Auntie's business now, Ruth. You two are working together.
Precisely. Partners don't withhold secrets, although they can and probably should withhold extremely dangerous chemicals if not properly notified of what they will be used for.
I will make no progress with my request without further explanation, will I? While the archive is an infinitely complex machine, an equally complex apparatus has been designed which allows one to interact with it directly. Brain-to-logic assembly, as it were. Unfortunately, this headgear exacts a rather tremendous cost on the wearer. A certain panacea is needed to survive it, but I require these chemicals to finish it.
Okay, it's observation 9. Exchange of a few chemicals seems reasonable enough. Right, Auntie?
Certainly. I'll even extend our corporate partner's micro discount to Ruth as a show of good faith. Best I'll say is today's outcome is workable. Barely. Our gains were not as exclusive as I had hoped they'd be.
Arriving at any arrangement even remotely equitable was statistically improbable. Be glad our mediator managed to find a middle path forward.
I'm just happy we are able to reach an agreement at all.
As am I. You certainly have a way of curving probability into your favor.
Well, that'll be all for today. Don't forget to purchase the latest in Auntie's Choice products out on the value-added Esplanade, or enjoy a refreshing cocktail at the Best Choice. And do come see me personally when you have time. I have just the thing in mind for an accomplished freelancer such as yourself.
One moment. There are still the logistics of recapturing the archive to consider.
We'll, of course, provide our expert troops to support these efforts. Have your people call my people to sort details. Toodaloo!
Brusque as ever. Auntie's troopers will certainly help us manage the Protectorate forces easier, especially if supported by your help. But it would be irrational to expect you to endanger your own life without a more specific strategy in place. Fortunately, I have already given this some thought.
I'll let her continue.
First, we must reclaim Spyreton from the enemy. Spyreton once served as the Order's headquarters, due to its proximity to the archive. Its loss was an affront, and remains so. Unlocking and calling that lift can only be done from within the archive, however. So you will need to infiltrate the archive by alternate means, via a bridge connected to Newton. Fortunately, I am told you already dealt with the cultists there. Unfortunately, you will still need to find a way past a small rift currently blocking the bridge.
I am in possession of a device that temporarily closes rifts.
Ordinarily, I do not fancy surprises, but you are proving an exception to that rule. With such a device in hand, bypassing the rift should be as rudimentary as pie. And perhaps at some later date, you will also permit our scientists to analyze this gadget at length in one of our labs, provided all goes according to plan.
So, retake Spyreton, infiltrate the archive, unlock the lift. Got it. Anything else?
There is a computronical key that you will also need to locate within the archive called the Calcaduceus. The Calcaduceus grants special access to the archive. Once it is back in Order hands, we will have full control over its systems once more.
All right. In exchange for my help, I want to use the archive to analyze some Rift data I have.
Until the Order has control over the archive again, this discussion is all but moot. You know what must be done. May you achieve progress in accordance with the plan.
A peace treaty between the
point.
Order and Auntie's Choice falls under the category of historic event. This unit will preserve the date.